Welcome and hello, hello and welcome, welcome and hello, hello and welcome to a very, very special weekend edition of Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. Haven't had an opportunity to make a show last couple of days, or more accurately, I've had a bit of dysfunction, which has led to some delays. But anyway, guys, a lot of you have been asking me in the recent past about these penny stocks. Most of you know penny stocks are incredibly stupid to invest in, and if you are going to invest in them, you have to really expect that you're going to lose money on probably 8 out of 10, if not 9 out of 10. You try to manage your downside risk as best you can, and then on those one or two, you try to hit an absolute home run. Hopefully you can build like a call options ladder and sort of watch these runs go up. A great example of, a penny stock that has sort of been on fire all of the sudden and was just getting absolutely nothing was Tenax, ticker symbol TENX. A lot of people have been sort of asking about the stock because I've been making videos recommending this stock for years, based on the strength of their, pipeline, particularly the drug levosimendan, which is in P3 already, and we expect, top line readout late this year. A lot of people think the phase 3 is kind of a slam dunk, because, Dr. Stuart Rich, who's their medical director, and, they bought his company, Precision Biomed, a few years back. He has another drug, Aminatib, which is another drug they've moved to an oral formulation. That's great pipeline. They really have the funds to develop that drug as well, but they're focused on, getting levosimendan to market. That's for, a particular type of heart failure, HPEF. And there's really no competition in the space. So, I've done tremendously well on the stock. I had a really high share count. I loaded through all the dilution, all the bad items. So I've been loading this stock for years and years. And yes, I did trim some, recently, just because I was in the deep red on a stock like this for so long. So when something 5x's for you, you'd be a complete fool not to take a little bit of money off the table. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Un Poco Mas, of course. They call me Little Danny Cornbread DeCarlo. If you guys want to do nicknames, why do they call me Cornbread? Well, I'm moist, I'm doughy, and I crumble under pressure. They call me the tugboat. I'm short in stature. I pull more than my own weight, and I'm rarely far from my home port. All that stuff, guys. They call me Stubby Cohiba. They call me DJ Patchy Drizzle. They call me MC Al Dente. They call me Stock Karen. They call me Hurricane Lopez. Of course, my given Christian name is Tabasco Rojas. My friends do call me Tabasco. No, they don't. It's an idiotic name. It's an idiotic concept. It's an idiotic bit. But, I have the attention span of a gnat and the mind of a 5-year-old. What can I tell you? What's up, Jay Bizzle? I can't see because I don't have my intermediates. Oh, my intermediates are at the office. What am I going to do? I can't do a broadcast. I can't see. God damn it. My shoes fell off. My head was all bashed apart. Oh my God. Not a lurkers here. The great J Money. We've missed J Money. They've had him chained to his desk, locked in his office. And when he's not doing that, he's doing triathlons, mountain biking, polishing his head. Oh, great to see you, not a lurker. Great to see you. Anyway, guys, I want to talk about a couple of stocks, and I'm going to try to get through these. But, yeah, great to see you guys on a weekend. Hope everybody's doing well. Jarrett Matson. We're going to be talking about Tenax, TENX. There's a ticker symbol on that one. We're going to be talking about just kind of funny JAGX, Jaguar Health, stock I've been talking about for years. I have almost, very few shares left because it's reverse split so many times. But that stock actually has gone split adjusted from 2.5. Listen to this, guys. $2.5 billion per share down to $1. And it just doubled yesterday. It was like they did some deal. They just keep doing, these incredible dilutive money raises and reverse splits, like 60 for ones. And they just did a 60 for one, and then it's already back down below $1, or it was. So, it's just one of those companies it's extraordinary, that the stuff they do is legal. But I guess it is. I think the crazy thing about Jaguar Health is I think what they're doing actually has merit. Mytesi. It's already approved for treatment of HIV/AIDS. It's could be extremely beneficial to patients with rare disorders, of the intestines, stomach, all these, microvillus inclusion disease. There's many of these diseases that people get where they have, diarrhea, they can't digest food, they have all these problems. So, in South America, they've known about this crofelemer, comes from this Gaia lychee tree. I forget the exact name, but they call it the fire plant or something. But they've known about its medicinal benefits for, probably hundreds and thousands of years with native peoples. And so this company is kind of the first, one of the first companies that's trying to get, these organic, natural treatments or drugs, whatever you want to call them, approved through the FDA. So it's been a very interesting company. I've followed it for a long time, but the fiscal mismanagement, the abuse of the capital markets, the deals that they've made with the devil, it's been an extraordinary ride, basically down all the way into the sewer. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And the other thing I was going to try to talk about is like, how do you analyze penny stocks? And if you're looking at, say, a basket of 4 or 5 and they're all terrible, which one do you pick? Of course, if you're smart, you don't buy any of them. You buy Microsoft, you buy Nvidia, you buy Exxon, you buy JPQ. I was reading, you buy, PayPal, so according to the great Matt Frankel over at Motley Fool. There's all kinds of, different ways you can go. You definitely shouldn't buy penny stocks under any circumstance, but I like to do it. So taking a look at TENX, what do you see that's interesting is even on the pullback, so you see the big green day and then the big, corresponding red candle, but of all these days, like the last, looks like last 7 trading days, the stock has made higher lows every single day. So you see that 1240, 1278, 1342, 1430, 1480, 1515, and then even a higher low on this little, compression day, this little breather. But if you look at the trend, I think it's clear that the trend is your friend and the trend remains firmly up. I've said it a million times. Uptrends are defined by the lows, downtrends are defined by the highs. It's very obvious if you think about it, why that is. On an uptrend, the highs can go anywhere, but the lows are really, what you should be watching in terms of that trend line, and the reverse on a downtrend, just to try to see when things break, where things stand, what are anomalies. And you can see this trend line on Tenax has been incredibly consistent since just around the middle of November. It's just been absolutely walked up, and the base was just beautiful on this thing. Double wide is here. Mutt Mix, that is a pile of Neo. Hello, Scott. What's going on, Scott? Kezu buying Netflix on Tuesday if it keeps on dipping. I've never been a huge Netflix fan. I really missed the boat on that one. That was another big Motley Fool stock that you would have, if you put $1,000 in it back when they recommended it, you'd have $10 trillion in a huge wing right now. Penny stocks are especially tough if you got a tiny wing and a man boobs, anything like that holding you back. They're tough enough under ideal conditions, but if you're working with a substandard operational portfolio, you can really be in trouble. So proceed with caution, if you know what I mean. I don't have any of my fancy equipment, my book learning I got at the office, so sorry, I have a bad mic here. I don't even have my external monitor, so I can't even see what the hell you guys are talking about. Let's go. Indeed, not a lurker. There's I can't see. There's probably one person here. 15. Not bad. Hello and welcome. I like to say I have a tiny audience, both in breadth, depth, and wing size. I got a very ugly audience, but a very intelligent audience, which is a trade-off I'm willing to make. Small portfolios, small wings, small ambition. Just manage expectations, and you guys are going to be fine. Expect these penny stocks to go to absolute zero. But anyway, so Tenax is really an example, I would say, of a very safe penny stock, because this thing has been completely de-risked. the bad money raises, the almost bankruptcy, the working out of a temporary office at a Quality Inn, Residence Inn, and using their own cell phones to order Domino's. Those days are behind us, and we finally got a good money raise. I believe it was Guggenheim, and they're the ones who keep pumping these huge analyst calls on the stock. Guggenheim just doubled their price target to 25 and made Tenax one of their picks of 2026. But I have to agree with them because I think the likelihood that they get P3 approval is probably over 90%. I mean, there is no one else out there doing anything for this disease, for this HPEF to improve quality of life. They've already proven that the drug works. So I've gone through this in video after video, but I think there's still a lot of upside here. It's currently at $100 million market cap. There is some dilution left to fight through, but if you value this at like 5x mature sales, I mean, I think mature sales are going to be $300-400 billion easy. And they have patent protection throughout Europe, America. They have patent protection everywhere. They've really done all their homework, and you're getting in at the right time. Now, it would have been great to get in 10, 11. But I still think it's a strong buy anywhere around this 15 area. Speaking of safe, speaking of measured, speaking of, whatever the hell I was talking about, Prairie Operating Company, this one tried to push up, got all the way to about $2.15, and then the pullback has been harsh and severe. You can see how the volume built on this little move from $1.70. It was really basing at about $1.67. Came back down, tried to test 2, failed, came back down $1.70, and then you see this walk up. This algo walk up is very, very. Hold on one sec, guys. I got to take this. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. Welcome and hello. Yeah, let's see. Seahawks, 49ers, Rams. I mean, I like to see, LA. I'm not a Rams fan. I'm a Raider fan, hapless. But I'd like to see, the Rams win just for SoFi exposure. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good for SoFi. Just a little juice, a little love. Let's see, guys. Sorry about that delay. I got some work stuff going on. Some construction guys working, trying to figure some nonsense out. Yeah, Saturday edition. Yeah, I have prop. It's a total turd, but so am I. Clap my dog. Bills, Josh Allen, SoFi QB, John Candy, LA Rams. What's going on, Payush? The great Payush is joining us. Payush is the only guy probably loading SoFi today on a Saturday, and the markets aren't even open. I don't know how he does it. He's buying shares out behind a Circle K from a guy named Dustin, working out of a Kia. At least it's not green tea. At least this tea actually has caffeine in it. I'm telling you, green tea is a scam. China's been running on us for years, getting us off coffee, making us think we're healthy. Yeah, earnings in 2 weeks is going to be a monster, Payush. I think we're going to hit $1 billion in revenue. It's going to be a big emotional milestone. S&P 500 inclusion is coming. I really like this guy, Matt Frankel from Motley Fool, who does videos. You guys should check out his channel. He has a lot of great stuff. He actually, his stock of the year last year was SoFi. His stock of the year this year is PayPal. But sorry about that. My head got really close to the screen. I had to lean in. It's distortion. Terrible, terrible. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, if there's one stock I would buy just above all else right now, that would be SoFi. I mean, I think SoFi's got stuff up their sleeve that they're not, tipping their hand just yet, surrounding the crypto space, acquisitions. I think in a few years, SoFi is going to be a monster crypto company. They're going to have more juice in the space, I think, even than Robin. I know people think I'm crazy, and they're like, well, SoFi will never be bigger than Robinhood. Robinhood should just buy SoFi. I think that's a very wrong-headed way of looking at the situation, because you think, the bull market won't always be a bull market. A lot of people are buying, crypto on margins. A lot of that stuff already fell apart. And I think when you see earnings this time, you're going to be very happy you bought SoFi instead of Robinhood, if that was your choice. And you'd be even happier if you own both, because obviously Robinhood's been on a hell of a run, but they've had, I think, even a little bit more retracement than SoFi. So as far as Prairie Operating Company, know what I mean? Know what I mean? A little bit of an oil company, a little bit of oil play, know what I mean? Permian Basin, know what I mean? Colorado, know what I'm saying? Houston based, know what I'm talking about? Heavy dilution coming at you, gonna crush your nuts, know what I'm saying? So anyway, this thing was on this little upward progression. You see the volume just building, up till this, this high volume, and then they do a big rug pull on it. I think the thing's bouncing off, the 50-day, and it reclaimed the 50-day during the day. They're trying to base it again, but I don't think it's going to work. I think there's way too much upside here. I don't think dilution is as bad as everyone's expecting. I think they have production online. And I think the earnings, they're going to turn in a ton of EBITDA growth. Really excellent production numbers. I just really like what they're doing. And everybody's like, oh, management's too slick. I don't trust management. I think this stock, even in the worst case of dilution, is still worth $5, $6. And if it's not as bad as people think, I think it's a $10 stock. TENX and prop I view as, relatively safe. Sorry, I got some kind of weird beard hair in my mouth. Jaguar I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. The only reason I still own shares is because I've owned shares for many, many years, and I was just an idiot. Kept buying them at certain points. It's like, that's a great stock if you want to turn 10 grand into, $10. Now, as far as IOVA, this is another one that I've obviously talked a lot about, and this one pushed up and challenged $3 here recently. Sorry, I have substandard internet. I'm working off of one of those free AOL CDs. Sorry, guys. I just ran out. I had 10 free minutes. I signed my friend Armando up, and they gave me 10 free minutes. But that just ran out, so had to switch back over to Ask Jeeves, running a VPN through Ask Jeeves. Poke me on Friendster, guys. Poke me on Friendster. You're going to enjoy the experience, and so am I. Anyway, let's see. I like SIDU. Yeah, what are you guys' favorite penny stocks? It'd be Rocket Labs is definitely... Smart money's been sort of accumulating Rocket Labs. I know I have a position. Not a huge position, but... yeah, I like to really spread my money around. I don't necessarily... have it. I have a huge, SoFi, Microsoft, but overall I'm pretty well diversified, as well as, real estate, bonds, different stuff, precious metals, crypto. I don't have anything, where if one thing goes bad, it's going to ruin my life. That's what you never want to do, because there's always sort of that hangman risk. What if, somebody told me, I believe it was, the P90X guy. I'm so vascular right now. Can you guys believe how vascular I am? I fell in love with Chef. I fell in love with Chef. I decided I'm going to name my first child Gucci Tomasino Gordon Ramsay. You guys seen that show, Peter's Place, episode of Kitchen Nightmares? It was like dealing with these like mafiosos, and there's like this giant guy wearing all this bronzer. Probably the greatest television show ever. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. If you guys haven't noticed, I have problems concentrating. Took me like 3 days to do this show when there was no real prep involved. Just a bunch of mental problems, mental difficulties. Anyway, as far as IOVA, the stock actually came up, I believe, and touched $3. Did it even touch $3? No, touched $2.99, so it was rejected. But then it sold off. It came back down below $2.50, popped back up to $2.80, and then just dumped it really hard back to $2.20. The thing you have to remember with this one, 35% short. They shorted it again on Friday. They borrowed a ton of shares on Thursday. They borrowed a ton more on Friday. And this is a very promising company, bless you. They have very promising science. The finances are problematic because they're going to have to raise money in the next couple of quarters, which means basically now. Are they going to get reamed on this deal? I don't believe they're going to get reamed on this deal because they have a new CFO. I think she's supposed to be really, really good. Tons of industry experience. She got, these financial reforms through, cost-cutting measures, extended the runway a bit. And, the fact that they have an FDA-approved drug and that they have a very strong pipeline, I think makes them attractive for investment. Probably not buyout at this point because I think they're just a little bit too far away. But a year or two down the road, I think they could definitely be there. By Microsoft in Canada, data centers coming to Alberta. TAC is also good. Payush has a lot of good ideas. I thought he was just a SoFi man. This guy's an intellectual. Showing his cards. His full port Rocket Lab needed money recently and sold it. Yeah, okay. Guys, I wouldn't put your full portfolio in any one thing. I just wouldn't do that. Not even 2, not even 3. You should own at least, 5 different assets. So if something, don't put any more than, in my mind, 20%. 20% of your net worth in one single investment in like one stock is crazy. It's way too much. I would say even if you love something, limit it to like 10%. That's still a lot of risk, guys. I don't want you guys to play around and, fuck up your life just because you believe in something so much. Just your belief or the fundamentals or previous history doesn't mean something really bad and unexpected can't happen. So just don't put all your eggs in one basket. That phrase is there for a reason. Your grandma was right. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't eat yellow snow. Don't date that girl with the tramp stamp. Don't get that nose ring. Anyway, what's going on, Bobby Joe? The great Bobby Joe. 2 first names. Number 1 in our heart. Bobby Joe. Jarrett Mason. Rocket Lab was not risky, but you see if they're... It is risky in the sense if they have one catastrophic event, something blows up, the stock goes down a ton. And if you have your whole portfolio on that, or you're on margin, or you're leveraged, I mean, everything is risky if you have... Everything is risky if you're in it too deep, I would say. I mean, okay, a stock like Microsoft, maybe Google, some of these things, it seems low risk. But there's still a lot of regulatory risk. If the government comes and wants to just punish a particular company for, one reason or the other, I see risk in everything. I see SoFi like extremely low risk. Look at their growth, but, still regulatory, something could, flick their nuts good. Something could mess up Anthony Noto's hair. Highly unlikely, but anyway, Iovance, I see, like, the way I kind of rank these things is like Jaguar, just worst stock I've ever seen, most crooked management I've ever seen, but, I think there is merit to what they're doing. I wouldn't touch the stock with a 10-foot pole. You see went up to, just in one day, I mean, the stock went up from, I was looking at the insider roster. The insiders put a deal together to give the company like a couple $1,000,000 recently, and I think they took almost all the equity, and then they just got a $17 million upfront payment for like a licensing deal. But you see the stock, shot up almost to $2. It was down at like 80 cents and up to $2, and then it was trying to, hold on here at $1.50 and kind of make a market there, and then after hours just the bottom fell out back again. It's almost back down to $1. So whenever I see Jaguar spike, I feel like there's some like offering or convertible or some, financial wizardry that they've come up with, that's really going to kneecap existing share. This is one of those things where if you're a shareholder 1 minute and you own, the shareholders own 100% of the company, every deal they make, they give away like 90% of the company. That's what people think I'm joking. I'm not joking, guys. This stock has gone from $2.5 billion a share down to $1, split adjusted. $2.5 billion a share in 2015. You see that? $2.5 billion per share down to $1, split adjusted. And it's all legal somehow. How is that possible? How are these people not in prison? Because it's all legal what they do. Yeah, they made a deal with this one company, and I was reading all these. He keeps getting in trouble with the SEC, keeps getting sued, but he always wins. Because, these highly dilutive deals that bend shareholders over for a guided tour of the 50 states are not illegal. You're a big boy. They're like, hey, we told, when we do these offerings, when we do these, at the money drips, we tell you not to buy it because our stock is garbage. It's right there in the prospectus. Don't buy our stock. We're garbage. We're cabbage. We suck. You're going to lose all your money. You have a tiny wang. Gravity is not being kind to your man boobs. Your crow's feet are rapidly advancing. You need to fire your makeup artist. I'm hearing it all in the comments. Anyway, so I feel like Prairie gives you a ton of upside and a high degree of safety and predictability. I feel like Iovance is a huge wild card. I love their science, very unpredictable, also a ton of upside, could easily go to zero. Tenax, extraordinarily safe. You might have missed the initial run, but I think after this pullback, you're going to see plenty more upside in this bad boy. This horse has legs, and you got to saddle up and run. I'm flying like a racehorse. Somebody bet on me, as they used to say. In terms of Tenax, again, buy, but, watch your entry points. Prairie, I would buy the thing all day under $2. I know it's speculative. I know there's risk. I don't think there's that much execution risk because I think management's showing they can be efficient, they can modernize, they can get things done. Of course, anytime a much smaller company absorbs a much larger company, there's going to be growing pains, writ large. But I think they've done, a really good job. So I would feel comfortable buying Tenax, Prop, or Iovance, any and all. I wouldn't recommend you do that. I would recommend you don't buy any penny stocks because, you're not a fool. I'm a fool. Iovance, their institutional ownership has been creeping down, but I think the insider ownership is still strong to quite strong. So, yeah, you see, still 17% there, still 60%. So, still a stock, officer sentiment score is up. So, still a stock that institutions and insiders actually like. Fund sentiment score pretty good at 62, 63. So, I don't know. I don't know what the point of this video was. Really, there wasn't one. I was, I actually have a lot of physical silver. Not that much, but I have some bars and stuff. I was buying silver when it was very, very cheap. I was like, this didn't make that much sense. There are a lot of uses for silver. So just, I don't have life-changing silver, but yeah, that's been a really crazy run. Even got out ahead of gold, and then cryptos decoupled from precious metals and oil and precious metals. It's not the world we lived in 10 years ago, guys. It's a crazy world. You get out there, you do, dances, you dance around, you raise the roof. All kinds of stuff you can do if you're awesome. Yeah, it's worth 80 in silver, $1, 1964 quarter. Yeah, everybody's looking through their change, seeing what's pre-60s. You get the 60% silver. You used to have, I think, 90% silver. There's all kinds of silver and coins. People are sitting on fortunes just with their coffee cans full of old change their grandfather put together post World War II or whatever. Anyway, guys, I don't know, again, what was the point of this video. I was just kind of wanted to update you on some of these pennies. In terms of upcoming catalysts, I think, you can watch Iovance, but you don't really know when exactly anything's coming. Jaguar has all kinds of catalysts, but I think it's all, a big money-raising scam, as it always has been. The company itself, like the product is not a scam, but how they run the company and how they finance the company is just... It's just unbelievable that they can do that and, somehow stay listed on the exchange and just keep doing this to, shareholders. So it seems like just a gross abuse of shareholders, but somehow, I guess, it's legal. So if it's legal, people are going to do it, and then the same management that's been taking these salaries to destroy, the shareholders then comes in and buys the equity, in this private placement or whatever. So it just all seems super sketch, but what's not sus these days, right? They call me Big Sus. Call me Big Schloss, Big Sus, the big unit, Big Sack, all that stuff. I want to watch Steve go through rules of coins, through Pokemon cards, whatever Steve's doing. The big sexy, he's always got an audience. Numismatics, whatever, collecting stamps. An old man sits collecting stamps in a room all filled with Chinese lamps. He saves what others throw away, says that he'll be rich someday. I know of an ancient radiation that haunts dismembered constellations of faintly glimmering radio stations. You guys like Cake? Good band. Anyway, guys, I'm aging very poorly even during this broadcast, so I'm going to cut this weighing short, get the hell out of here, make me some more tea. Appreciate you guys watching. It is Un Poco Mas. Would like to thank the great Katie Wentworth. Steve looks like a farmer. He's got a head like a granite boulder. Just a giant head. What are the odds you would survive a headbutt from Steve, the big sexy Fred Flintstone? I would say 0. That is not a man you want to accept a headbutt from. He's probably going to die. What's up, Scott? Later, brother. Hey, thanks a lot, Nautilerker. Would like to thank, of course, the greatest of the great, Princess J and QT, greatest family unit in the history of the world. Would like to thank all of you for watching this absolutely ridiculous, stupid program. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Depending on what I can get away with, I may do a SoFi video at some point in the next couple of weeks, the next fortnight, as Honest Abe would say. Until then, guys, it is cornbread. It is Tabasco Rojas. It is Stock Karen. What the hell are my other names? Tugboat. MC Al Dente, DJ Patchy Drizzle, whatever the fuck else I can't remember. I can't remember anything. It's another great byproduct of getting old, along with the gravity affecting my man boobs, like, the Death Star pulling in, the Millennium Falcon. But anyway, I hope you broke tiny wing pikers have a great weekend, and I'll see you later. Peace! I'm out! Basic bitches. You guys know Lohanthony?